Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing today? It's very nice to have you here. This is the taping of our second show, the Angry and Ornery Show, streaming live out of Second Life in the beautiful city of Avalon in Staccato. If you are wondering what's going on here, this is a interview talk show as well as a movie review, TV review, game review, and generally a pop culture discussion forum. This is a show that's taped every other Wednesday, and we then put it up on YouTube for you to watch at any point. Go to YouTube and subscribe to the Angry and Ornery Show, and you will be able to see this as well as our past shows. Tonight we have a pretty good show, I think, for our second show. We have our first celebrity guest, a fellow who I have known for quite some time. Will be out a little later. He is a live jazz saxophonist, which we'll find out much more about, I'm sure, named Trouser Boa. But before we get to that, let's call out my co-host, Lionheart. Lionheart, would you come on out, please?
Hello?
A trench coat?
Yes, a trench coat. I'm so sorry. It's for my job later on this evening.
That job would include flashing people?
Flashing old ladies, yes, exactly. You guessed it correctly.
So you kind of do what you do in real life here in Second Life, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I thought so. Lionheart, as you should, I don't know, we kind of introduced ourselves the last show, so I don't know how much we should repeat, but basically we're both movie aficionados, or I guess freak movie nerds. How else would you call it?
Video gurus.
Right. So we had a real life show, and we did this on TV for about a year or so. And we met up again here on Second Life, and that's when we decided, well, let's do the Angry and Ornery Show here, just like we used to. So that's what we're attempting now. So you'll have to forgive us, because we're still learning, and this is our second show, so we'll see what happens. But anyways, Lionheart, do you have anything you say before we dive into it?
Yeah, who are all these people sitting here?
I don't think they're anybody. I think maybe there's one or two actual people, and they're all just alts of those two people. But I'm not going to say anything because you never know.
Okay. I just want to make sure they weren't figments of my imagination.
I think it's good. Well, have a seat, and there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about before we bring out our guest. If I can find the seat. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, did you happen to... Yeah, I always want to sit manly-like and not like a 12-year-old little girl, but that's just the problem with my chair. I think we're good, though. I wanted to talk about the Academy Awards. They were just a couple of weeks ago now, and because of we just film this every 2 weeks, so it's not really close to it, so it's old news. But did you happen to catch any of it?
I watched the whole thing. How about yourself?
I did, and I do want to brag just for a moment and tell you that we played the game. We fill out the ballots like back when you used to live here. We used to do that at the parties, the Oscar parties. And this year, I actually got 14 out of the 20-some questions correct. And I then won this particular event. And I just want you to know that the way we play it is the losers have to watch the movie of the winner's choice. And my movie of choice at that point was Soylent Green, believe it or not.
Great film. Great film. Love that film.
Here's what I remember about Soylent Green. I remember it being kind of campy from the 70s, maybe not the best special effects, maybe not the best acting from Charlton Heston, but the overwhelming story was just still cool to watch. But after watching it, and this was just a couple of days ago, it's actually a good movie.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it was 1973 that Green came out, and you know, Edward G. Robinson is just fantastic in it, and it's his last film. He died shortly after, but it's one of Chuck Connor's first vehicles for acting, and I mean, he had a little good part there as the semi-villain of it, and it is good.
Yeah, the direction and the story, of course, is great, and the special effects are not really that bad or campy as I remember. And Charlton Heston does a pretty good job at performing. He didn't jump the shark in it or anything. So, anyways, I just wanted to point that out. That I did pretty good this year, and I did see almost all of the Academy Award nominated movies. The only one I didn't see is Captain Phillips, but. I had to laugh because the black fellow that's in the Captain Phillips movie, Barkhad Abdi, is that how you pronounce his name? Barkhad Abdi?
I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name.
Well, the dude spent, he was paid $64,000 for that movie. He was a limo driver before this film. He has no acting skills before this movie at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's really good in the movie. But he was paid $64K to film Captain Phillips, so he obviously didn't use any of that money to get his teeth fixed, did he?
Oh, you went there. Oh boy, that was bad. That's something I would have said.
Yeah. You can actually look him up on the internet and see what I'm talking about. But anyways, I was happy to see that the Wolves of Wall Street actually won. I've seen the movie. I actually saw it twice. I thought it was that good. You need to see it, Lionheart, if you have not seen it. Have you? I don't remember if you told me.
I have not seen it.
Okay, it's probably the best of the mix, but Leonardo DiCaprio didn't win an Oscar again. I mean, this is like his third nomination, and he did not win. So, that's 3 or 4 nominations in a row with no win. So, what's the guy have to do in Hollywood now? Snort cocaine out of a whore's ass?
Hasn't he already done that?
But I'm sorry. That was a scene from Wolves of Wall Street for those of you who may have seen it, but apparently this crowd did not. So, did you happen to see John Travolta screw up that girl's name when they introduced her? That sings Frozen?
I saw that, and I don't think it was that much of a big deal that everybody's, talking about. It happens.
Or maybe he's just drunk.
Yeah, but then there was also that train wreck that came out with Brad Pitt, Kim Novak or whatever.
Oh my God, Kim Novak with the plastic face.
Oh my God, I cried. I mean, I physically cried. Yeah. Mostly because it made me lose my appetite and I couldn't eat anymore, so I started crying. But yeah, that was
well.
Horrible.
Of all the movies out of 2013, I would recommend Gravity, which won a lot. It's actually a really good movie. I just bought it on DVD and watched it. And Wolves of Wall Street, which is also really cool. So they're good films, and I heard that like 80% of Americans had not seen any of the nominated movies this year, which is kind of scary.
Did you see American Hustle?
I did. I didn't care for it as much as
I liked it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It just it seemed to be kind of scatterbrained all over the place. It was a little hard to follow, but maybe I was just drunk or something.
That could be.
Lorna Luft and Liza Minnelli.
Liza Minnelli. Oh my God.
Who both look like they might be dead.
Oh my God. Yeah, what was up with the blue hair? I'm sorry. That was just...
I don't know. Were they even conscious? But
I thought it was funny when Ellen called her a drag queen. Thought it was a drag queen, there as an impersonator. I thought that hit it right on the head.
All right, well, enough about movies. TV, you had told me something that has horrified me, and that is, off a camera, that is, and that is that you love me and want to have my children. No, it was the other one. Sleepy Hollow, the wonderful Sleepy Hollow TV show that we both enjoy and really started getting into, has been canceled?
No, they're getting a second season. Almost Human is getting canceled.
No, 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 no. Seriously? I thought you told me it was
Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow.
No, no, no. It was Almost Human. Almost Human.
Oh my God. Well, that's even worse.
Yeah, I know. And what it is they're not hitting their demographic mark. They're getting the ratings, they're getting people tuning in, but the studio wants people from the ages of 18 to 25 tuning in. They're getting the 29 to 49 crowd, and that's not who they're marketing with of course all the sponsors who buy commercial time, so they feel that they're not getting what they want, so they might pull all the sponsors and hence the show might get canceled.
You know, it's just more proof that science fiction cannot exist on network TV. It just can't. It seems to always have problems.
Yeah, it does.
Unless
you're
you're Star Trek.
Oh, yeah, don't even go there. But yeah, it's sad that they're gonna probably give it the axe. But Sleepy Hollow, no, that's a lock-in. That'll run forever. That's
all right.
New number one show.
I had thought you told me that, and I had heard that they would go at least 7 seasons with Sleepy Hollow because there are 7. Isn't it 7?
4 horsemen.
Oh, 4 horsemen. That's it. 4 horsemen. I thought it was like 7 demons or something like that. But all right. But too bad about Almost Human. So, folks, if you're watching, maybe you should send some letters or tweet some news and try to get Almost Human to stay on the air, because if they want a younger crowd, mail bomb them.
Yep.
Okay, well, anyways, anything else that you want to talk about briefly? We have a couple minutes.
What did you think of Miss Ellen's abilities at hosting this past year?
I'm always on the fence with Ellen. She's beloved by America, and I think she's funny, and she does a really good job, certainly on her talk show. But she got really, really laid back, and the whole thing about, ordering pizzas and doling them out to all these celebrities and all was funny, but there's also something kind of dark and demented in that. It was almost like they were kind of making fun of the middle class or the lower class by doing that. I mean, did you feel that?
Well, no, what they were doing was they were making fun of the Golden Globes or whatever, because they just did that with hamburgers, and then another show did it before that, so they were kind of spoofing those two things. But I don't know, I thought she was so dry that I was afraid she was going to catch on fire any second because she was so dry.
Yeah, she was. That's her style for sure. But she makes the Oscars, which is this very formal thing. She turns it into a much more laid back and relaxed atmosphere. And I don't know I kind of like it to be formal. I mean, all the girls are in gowns and all the guys are in tuxes. Maybe they should act formal. I don't know. But all right, well, that's old news anyway. So I would like to comment about some modern music today, but I really haven't had time to hear anything lately. Something did come across my the Facebook page. Somebody, I think Cammie actually, who's in the audience, and Livia posted this heavy metal Asian pop. These 3 young girls doing heavy metal. What's their names, Cammie? Baby metal. Oh my God, what is going on with that? It's
news to me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to see this. It's J-pop for sure, but it's like death metal mixed in, and these girls look like they're 12, 10, 12 years old, and they're dressed up like schoolgirls, and they sing this death metal, but it's really, really peculiar, and I'm not sure if grown men should like that or not. I think Lionheart is probably Googling that right now as we speak.
I was. I'm sorry. I cannot deny it. I was.
Well, how about we talk about music that we are more comfortable with and know about, like jazz, my favorite particular type of music. That was a segue, by the way. Did you catch that?
I caught it.
All right. I've been liking jazz all my life, and my uncle actually is in a jazz band in real life, and he has been doing it for 40 some odd years. So it was a real treat to find that jazz is very much alive here in Second Life, and that's mostly because of our guest tonight. Charles Boa has been doing jazz in Second Life for many, many years, certainly longer than I've been on, and I've been on for 4 years. He has his own venue, and he has a huge fan base, and he actually plays at my nightclub, Jack's Nightclub, once a month, and it probably is my favorite night because he is such a professional. So let's get him out here and ask him some questions about what he does here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, please give a warm reception to Trouser Boa. Lionheart, get up.
I'm up.
Have a seat, Trouser. You might have to adjust your poses. I'm not sure if you're looking in any particular weird way. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We're very, very excited to have you here. I've been wanting to talk to you voice-wise for a long time because you come in on, when you do your shows, you're on a stream, so... and I'm doing lights and greeting people and all that, so we rarely ever get a chance to talk. So this is kind of nice to just chat about things as is. Why don't you start with just telling the folks a little bit about yourself, if you want to talk about real life or plug anything that you're doing in real life and or in Second Life, feel free to do so.
Well, I've been playing for a long time, approximately 35 years now, and in Second Life I've been playing for 6 years. Right now, in real life, I don't have a lot going on. The group that I worked with for a long time, during mostly the time that I was here in SL, were composed of some really great young musicians, and they're all doing fabulously. Most of them are grad students or grad assistants at some top-notch universities. One of them is likely to have a big record deal break this summer. So it's just been fun kind of watching them grow up and grow with the music and do some really fantastic things. So now I'm back in SL, focused more than I had been in probably 3 or 4 years, and enjoying that.
Well, let's talk about SL first then. What do you have going on here? I know you have your own venue, the Firehouse, correct?
I have a venue, Firehouse 59 is the name of that.
Okay. And what? How could people find it here in SL? What is the sim name?
The sim is it's Parrot Head Isle. But if they just search Firehouse 59, it'll come right up. Or if they just search Firehouse.
Cool.
We run about 40 events a month. So most of that's funded, well, all of that's essentially funded by whatever I make here in SL. So there's several venues that have me playing regularly, and they're essentially our sponsors and support all these other events. So it's a great thing that I'm able to do and give back. I'm blessed not to need it in real life. So I try to make it work in SL and, kind of spread the wealth and keep live music and jazz-related DJs, going.
That's awesome. As a matter of fact, you had talked a couple of weeks ago about a coalition that, for lack of a better word, that you were forming of artists and musicians. Does this all tie in together about supporting the arts in SL?
Yeah, kind of. What I did is I created a thing called Businesses Supporting the Arts, and really it's a jazz support thing. So I've approached venues, not only music venues, but any successful business really, and if they want to increase some traffic and whatnot, basically I play there for a fee that's actually pretty reasonable. But as a perk to them hiring me on a regular basis, whether that be monthly or weekly, they're listed as sponsors for our venue, and there's a sign out front with the landmark and whatnot. And the artists, basically it allows our venue to be a tip-free venue. That's the one unique thing about the Firehouse. We have no tips. We only have hosts if the artists would like them. So really it's almost like an after-hours club vibe, where the artists just come and do what they want to do, and we invite the public.
That's really, really cool. I would give you a suggestion about, are you familiar with the Drax Files, the fellow who makes the SL movies?
I am not.
Okay. For those of you that are on SL, and you too, Trow, if you were to go to your dashboard and generally in the SL listings, like the editor's listings about
Sure.
what's happening, you'll see that they'll have the latest movies. I think he's on number 17 now or something like that. But he profiles people in a very, very professional and well animated way, using real life footage and SL footage, and kind of blends them together. But I think you would be an amazing candidate, and he would probably take you as a project right away. And that way you could not only network, but certainly plug anything that you're doing with the venue on there. And hopefully this will help too, this show. But anyways, tell us, for people that don't perform on Second Life, how many shows do you do a week? It seems like you're really busy.
Yeah, right now I'm playing quite a bit. 2, 3, I'd say anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week, which isn't. There's some guys that play 3 to 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a whole lot, but one thing I found that's kind of unique with Second Life that isn't necessarily the case with real life is it's very difficult to overexpose in Second Life, just because of the time zones and people logging on at different times. You can play at different times a day. I actually draw bigger crowds the more I play. If I play once a week, it's almost like people seem to forget about you rather than view it as a special opportunity. Whereas if I play 3 or 4 times a week, your name's out there all the time, and people just know, oh, I haven't seen him in a while. I'm going to go see him again. And I think it's kind of a familiarity thing in SL. People just like to they get into a routine, and part of that routine might include coming to see me.
It's almost like a flock mentality. It seems like, I know when you come to my club, we seem to get the same group. We have you once a month, and we decided long ago to try to get a fair amount of variety at our club. Right. Having jazz with you, but then we might have country and western the next day, or pop music the following day, or whatever. But each different performer seems to have his own following or group, and indeed in Second Life you have groups. So how would you describe a typical fan or group member that follows you?
Typically, the one thing I like about SL compared to real life is people, I guess because there's no other way to really communicate with somebody other than IM or local chat, people actually speak to you and tell you what they like about your music, and tell you, like, you might get an IM, that was beautiful, or I really like that number, or whatever. So you just get a lot more direct feedback. So I think there's a little more personal investment in that regard. The people that come to see me regularly, it's nice. I've got a big enough group now where I can always count on a handful of people, and it's nice because it's not the same people day in, day out. I don't feel like I'm begging for Linden from the same exact people every time, like I'm just kind of taking money from them. So that's what I tell people: just come out and listen. Really don't feel obligated to tip me every time you come out and hear me. Just hang in there, and when you've got some extra Lindens and you want to throw them my way, that's great. But and
that's something I've always admired about you as a professional, certainly on Second Life, because, of course, at owning a club, we get to see all types of different performers come in, and some of them have enormous egos, or they have all types of money demands. They need to be paid this or that, or they're not going to do it, or they have to have a certain amount of people that are there, or they're not going to do it, or whatever. And like you, I'm also a performer. I don't sing or play an instrument. I'm a magician, as I am in real life. Most of you know that. But I don't ask venues for money. I'll happily work for tips, and I've done so for 4 years. And you have been kind enough to do that too, I know, for venues, including my own, where actually, I want to steal one of your lines, if I may, because you always say tips are appreciated but never necessary, or something similar to that.
That's it. They're always appreciated but never necessary. More than anything,
Yeah.
I'm just here to share my music.
And that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect, because if I can entertain anybody, make them laugh or make them think about something or whatever, that's really all I'm doing it for. But it just seems that there's so many entertainers that are demanding enormous sums to play at these venues, and you have to understand venue owners are paying the tiers, so they're barely surviving as it is. And well, anyways, I don't want to get on that soapbox, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. I think artists that come into SL expecting to make money because maybe they do a little bit in real life or whatnot, they forget that the venue owners really don't have a product they're selling in most cases. And the venues that do have such huge followings that they really don't need to pay you. So it's a weird kind of situation. So, my cat's here howling in the background, so I apologize.
Nice. Nice. That's added extra music. Let me ask you one more question, and if you will, maybe you can jump on your sax and play us a song before we leave tonight. Is that
sure,
possible?
I'd love to. Yep.
All right, one more question, and this one was burning. And by the way, Lionheart, did you have a particular question? I don't mean to leave you out of this.
No, I'm good. I'm good right now.
Okay. Are you looking at porn and you're looking at porn and drinking vodka, aren't you, Lionheart?
No, I'm drinking whiskey and just sitting here listening.
Oh, okay, great. That's a step forward. Trow, tell me what the wildest, funniest thing that may have occurred while you were performing, or maybe while you were at a venue or whatever. Maybe embarrassing or crazy or something that the audience would scratch their head about. Do you have anything like that?
There's a couple that come to mind. One actually was tonight, playing at your place while I did the whole show with a saxophone and cigarette in my mouth. That was pretty funny. But I consider myself the world's oldest noob. I've been in SL for 7 years. You guys had to walk me through voice chat to get that thing up and set up, and it's just like I was blessed that I could sit on the chair and not look like a complete idiot. So that was a good thing. Yeah, one of the classic moments at a gig was I was playing a gig for the first time, crowd of people that had never seen me before for the most part, and somebody shouted that they wanted to have my prim baby. That was one of the funniest things I ever saw in chat. So
nice, and they probably were serious too. So you probably have a ton of female followers. Do you find that ever an issue where there's all these ladies that are interested and you're fighting them back or beating them down with a stick or anything like that?
No, not really, not so much. I mean, there's people that IM me and there's friends like that, but I pretty much for years I just basically was logging in. I got real busy in real life for the past I'd say 3 or 4 years. So I'd log in literally 20 minutes before a show, play my show, and log out within 5 or 10 minutes. So, I think people just were like, oh, well, he's just, basically here to play or whatever. I mean, you'll get some IMs here and there, but for the most part, I just do what I do and hang out with the,
Well, whatever you do is absolute magic, and we love it every time you come to our venue. If you'd be so kind to play us a song tonight, you guys out in the stream and here in the studio are in for a real treat. Trow, you're welcome to start whenever you like. Take the mic over there. And ladies and gentlemen, if you give him a round of applause, let's put your hands together and listen for a couple of minutes to his wonderful live saxophone. Absolutely fantastic. Give it up for Trouser Boa, everyone.
Thanks again. It was totally my pleasure. Really a pleasure to be here.
Charles, before you run off, tell them how they could find you maybe in the real world. Do you have a website you'd like to plug? We'll put it in post-production here and everything.
Oh, sure. It's daverenz.com. And I've got some real-life CDs available that you can find links through that. Also, I post stuff on SoundCloud at Trows Tunes. If you just search Trows Tunes at SoundCloud. And I rotate in some tunes that I record with the robot band that you just heard. So
great stuff. Thank you. It's been an honor to have you here. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks.
All right, ladies and
see you all in the future, and thanks. For
absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out tonight too, and for everybody on the stream, thanks for watching. If you're out there in Streamland, as I like to call it, log into Second Life. It's free. Just go to secondlife.com, create an avatar, log in, and contact me, Zoltan Mint, and we will get you in the studio audience, as well as hooked up with other things like hearing Trouser Boa for a whole show at Jack's Nightclub and other places. Just log in and contact me. Again, we record this every 2 weeks. Look for this show on YouTube in about 2 days. The Angry and Ornery channel. Lionheart, do you have anything you'd like to add and or plug?
Well, I'd like to plug a few things, but I can't do those here right now.
All right, we better move along. Okay. Anyways, guys, thank you very much. It's been a fun show, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Good night.